Welcome, everyone, to Hospitality 360 Live with myself. And it's obviously, this is probably the biggest panel and a lot of windows. So, it's a Thanksgiving special that we wanted to do. Obviously, have a lot of our members from EV on and some that couldn't be here as well due to the holiday. But I do want to have our special guest, that is Katie Steinberg from Market Scale. Katie,
Hi.
welcome. Thank you for
Thank you
being
so
here.
much.
Well, we just want to say you're part of EV now. This is your second episode, so you're all EV now.
I'm so honored. EV3.
Oh yeah, see?
Throw it up.
Here we
Don't
go.
forget.
We're back.
We love you, Katie. So
I love you guys. I'm pumped to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
appreciate it. And I kind of want to just go around our panel today. First up, Mr. International Traveler, live from Africa, Brian J. Esposito. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks, Ken. Glad that I could make and be part of the what is this, 28? 27?
28. We're getting up
Amazing.
there. Thank you.
So glad I could join and be part of everybody's discussion today. So thank you.
Thank you, Brian. And then we have Rachel Humphrey, our newest board member and, first appearance on the show. So welcome, Rachel.
Thank you, Ken. Happy to see everybody. And yeah, as you said, first appearance. So glad to be a part of the team.
Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate it. And then we have Brandy Patterson. Brandy's our board member and her company Surfer Quest. She's the VP there. Has been our sponsor from day one. So thank you, Brandy, and thank you, Surfer Quest.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to be on panel.
All right, thank you, Brandy. And then Mr. Media of Hospitality, Glenn Houseman, and I see he's got the Houseman Hotel.
Gobble gobble. How's everybody doing?
And then obviously Mr. Know-It-All, Do-It-All, Chris Meyer, and one of our other sponsors, Contractors, Closers, and Connections, founder of many chapters. So welcome, Chris.
Thank you. Good to be here. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too. And then Mr. Iconic, president of EV, Calvin Stovall.
Man, excited to be here, man. It's so nice to see all these people on this panel. This is power panel, man. And so happy to be here. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to all and everybody listening in from everywhere around the world. We know we've got great audience members as well. Oh, Amy, how are you? Amy's a great supporter of our show, and it's a great supporter of EV overall. So let me kind of start out, and obviously we've had two of our sponsors on this panel as well. So thank you for that, Surfer Quest and CCC. Keep leading, keep doing those great things in the community that you guys are doing. I know with Surfer Quest, with human trafficking, and then Chris educating the real estate industry as well. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
So I kind of want to just start out, and we have some videos from obviously from a few of our board members that wanted to kind of just let people know they couldn't be here, and how thankful they are and grateful to be part of EV and the support that we're getting. So Sid Katari is one of our board members, also Techstars mentor. So let me play that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sid, founder and CEO of Vorto, a distributed storage marketplace with over 1,000 locations in 53 cities globally, and also part of the EV Hotel Advisory Board. As a person, I'm passionate about building products that incorporate cutting-edge technology to improve the lives of people in a meaningful way. When I first met Ken, I was impressed by his fantastic vision of what the hotel industry should look like. That's based on state-of-the-art sustainable technologies, automation, and it's been wonderful to join the EV hotel team to help turn that vision into reality. The team has great momentum, and I'm very excited for what's in store for 2022 and beyond. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person today, but I just wanted to say that I'm incredibly grateful and proud to be part of this team. I hope you all get to spend some quality time with your loved ones this week, and wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you, Sid. I know you're listening in, so thank you for that. We're happy to have you on board, and you're definitely a talent, unique talent. So thank you, Sid, once again. And then obviously our newest executive member, I should say, Jeff Dresco, Chief Impact Officer, EV everything, texts me every day. And I'm like, don't you have to play a game? And he's like, yeah. So, and if people don't know about Jeff Dresco, he's actually now converting from the quarterback position to the tight end position. And they're calling him the next Taysom Hill that just got a massive contract for $95 million. I told Jeff, I think you're going to hit the 100 million. So let's see what happens. So let me take it to Jeff's video here.
Hey guys, this is Jeff Driscoll coming to you from Houston, Texas. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make Hospitality 360 live this week, but I did want to take the opportunity to say thank you to all the supporters and viewers from the show, as well as supporters of the brand. So again, thank you for that. Also wanted to just say how honored I am to be a part of the advisory board for the EV brand, as well as just being named Chief Impact Officer. Excited to get to work in that role and make a lasting impression for everybody and everything that the brand comes in contact with. So again, I'm sure this is going to be an awesome show. I look forward to watching it when I get the chance. And happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays.
Thank you, Jeff, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family and your little one there. I'm sure you're going to have a great time. Hopefully the Texans win again. So they just beat the Titans. So I mean, that was definitely a surprise, even though my Giants can't win a game. So it's all right. So what I wanted to do is I want to give you guys one last video, and this one's actually from me. So I'm so grateful and thankful for our entire team and the vision that we have at EV, and looking forward to a great 2022. So here we go. So that definitely was that it?
You.
It's a lot of good-looking people there.
We just need to get you into it, Katie.
We do.
We'll get you into the next one. How about that?
Can't wait. Perfect. Put me on. Put me in.
Yeah, no, I really wanted to do something. No one knew that I was actually doing that. And even the people I speak to every day, like Calvin, Jeff, Brian, and everybody else, that I do talk to on a daily basis. And this really came from my heart. I truly feel that we have a great team. I feel that EV is such in a good place. And, I couldn't be more grateful for the people that are behind this vision. So thank you very much. And, happy Thanksgiving to you all as well. So I'm going to take it to probably are a question that we usually have on every show, and I'll go around the panel on this to what are you thankful for, especially this Thanksgiving and even this year. So, Brian?
I have a very consistent thankfulness for the people and the opportunities that constantly present themselves to me. I'm on with everybody. So very grateful for the wonderful people that I get to work with.
Thank you, Brian. Rachel?
I think too, one I talk about every day, but I'm grateful for every day that I have. I know a lot of us have lost people unexpectedly way too soon throughout our whole lives. And so I take no day for granted. I am always grateful for each one that I have. And then really my support team, my husband, my daughters, my friends, my family, the industry that I love. And I think, I'm a big believer that with a powerhouse team around you, there's nothing you can't accomplish. And I think that's really evident by the EV team that you see here, the ones that aren't here. With a great support system, anything is possible. And so every day I'm grateful for each day I have and the team I have around me. So, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Rachel. Brandy? Oh, and before Brandy goes, I just want to, this is my fault, my apologies. Catherine couldn't be here. She's obviously going through some personal things. So, we wish Catherine a speedy recovery and hope you get well very soon. So, Brandy?
And I also wish Catherine a speedy recovery and happy to pinch hit. I'm thankful for friends, family, and friends who have become family. And I'm also thankful to have opportunities in order to make an impact, not only with Global, but with EV and also with Darkness to Hope in order to get those who have been trafficked back into society and back to living productive lives.
Thank you, Brandy. You guys do amazing work. Katie?
So much to be thankful for. I feel like with the pandemic, of course, you're always thankful for your health, but I'm really just so thankful to be healthy and happy and for my loved ones, of course. And as everyone was saying, the constant support system. And also just to have such incredible opportunities and be working in a field that I love so much. And every day is exciting. And I'm just so grateful for, honestly, every day and every opportunity.
Thank you, Katie. Glenn?
So just like Katie, so much to be thankful for. So it's hard to summarize it in one thing. Of course, my family, my friends, but being in the hospitality industry, I'm thankful for this crazy ride I've kind of been on over this last year and a half. I'm really thankful that in the thick of this crisis, a lot of people in the hospitality industry allowed me to come into their homes every day and have great guests that would come on for us to solve all of these horrific problems that were going on for us. And I'm really thankful that together we were able to find some sort of direction forward and some sort of path to success. And now I'm just thankful for all these incredible opportunities that are coming at me. I'm a guy who thought I was going to lose absolutely everything. And now I seem to be having the best year of my life. And that's because of everybody out there. And that's because of the love and support that we all give each other. So I'm thankful for a community that really builds all of us up, because we all know that together we can all be successful in our businesses and our lives at home. So thank you
Absolutely.
all.
Yeah, you had a great guest on yesterday. I just can't quite.
Dude, man, 544 shows, and that had to have been the best one of all time.
And if our audience hasn't seen, Glenn has a show, 12 p.m. every day, no vacancy. You can follow him on LinkedIn and catch a show every day at 12 p.m.
Except for today, because I was being a lazy bum.
Yeah.
Maybe not come on here, but 5 p.m. tonight, we're doing a special Friday night audit show. I know it's Wednesday, but we're going to drink. We're going to have some laughs, and we're going to tell stories about our worst holiday travel experiences. So come on and join us for that.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Thanks, Glenn. Calvin?
Man, I could talk about the thankfulness for a long time, but I'll try to keep it short. First of all, I'm thankful to be able to be involved in a project like EV, man. It's exciting. It's inspiring. Gives you something to look forward to wake up every day, man. It's just great to be working with you guys on screen, off screen. and everything. So I'm truly grateful for that. I am grateful for 2020 for teaching me to never become too comfortable or complacent. It also taught me to focus on the things that I can control and don't worry too much about the things that I can't. And then last but not least, I thank the Lord above for keeping me and my family covered and safe from COVID, man. God's been good to me and my family. So just feel blessed.
Thank you, Calvin. And I thank everybody for being part of EV. I couldn't do any of this without you guys. So I'm thankful for our entire team. I'm thankful for having a great wife, great daughter, great family, and having this industry that I love since I was 15 years old. So I wouldn't be sitting here without this industry. So I'm very thankful to be part of this industry and the support that I get from this industry. So thank you, everyone. And obviously, thank you to our fans at Hospitality 360 Live for making us the #1 show in hospitality. So thank you. So let me take it right to it. And I'll take everyone to, I think on a previous show, I discussed that there was an article that led my vision. There's actually been few articles that have led my vision. And this is another piece of that, where in 2018, this article that came out about blockchain, how it was going to disrupt the OTAs and what it needs to be done here for the OTAs to have a disruption of sort. So if people aren't familiar with blockchain, it's basically cutting out the middleman on the bookings itself. So no booking fees, remove the commissions, and it also protects from fraud. It's very secure. There's no exchange rate. So if you actually are on blockchain, you're not going, if you're traveling from Europe to the US and there's just no physical exchange there. It's low risk, big gains. And now for the owners and the hoteliers, it's more about how do we put more money in their pocket. So there's no booking fees. There's literally zero booking fees here, right? So, and I want to kind of let everybody also know about this is that part of my vision was EV to create something, and it's in development now, along with the other IP that I have that I'm adding onto it. So this blockchain piece has been in development, that how we're going to eliminate, and I'm not going to say eliminate, but how we're going to help control the OTA fees. Right now, if people do know the OTA fees, they're anywhere from 12% to 20%. You'll be lucky if you get below the 12%. I think only Marriott does. But, this is where we are, is that the blockchain, this is an article from 2018. Remember this. And it's 2021 now. We are the only ones that are talking about this EV that I'm talking about. So, Brian, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, the key points you hit on was great. You have full transparency. You are able to utilize technology where you can go direct to the consumer and place that booking. It eliminates fraud. Also, as you mentioned, a couple of things that you have to also consider: if it's off the shelf, maybe a white label solution, you still have to either license that blockchain technology for your hotel to use, or you have to build your own proprietary. So there is a cost. And the other thing that's necessary evil with the booking agencies, they spend a lot of money on marketing and promoting and getting people to their site or to their app or to their platform. And you have to price that into your model. If you have the budget to be on those booking agency sites, and you can also market and promote, and you have a budget for that, it eats all of your margins. But if you're not on those platforms, you still have to promote yourself so people can find you and they can go right directly to you and use a blockchain technology to book their rooms or their experiences. So those are a few of my points as to how that can be applied and where it can be applied.
Well, I already knew you're going to have a lot to say about it. So
I have more, but there's a lot of faces here today, so I got to be respectful for everybody's time.
Well, I know we see eye to eye on this, so it's something where I think it's going to be a game changer. I agree with you completely. We have to integrate the marketing fees. We have to integrate the advertising fees, whether we use a digital format for it or we don't. So, we have to keep that in mind. I mean, that's why the third parties buy up a lot of the Google words, right? And the Google ads. So,
Absolutely.
and the brands just can't keep up with that. But I know that Google changed a lot for 2021, so they got into that game with it. But Calvin?
I agree with Brian. You got to spend the money either way. But what I would assume when this happens, it saves the consumer money. Does it? I would think it does.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
that's know me. I'm all about the guest experience. So
yeah.
The thing is, to me, it helps the consumer. And
Yep.
the last show we talked about, remember those hidden resort fees we talked about, and the whole challenge that people being sued around these hidden fees. I think this is kind of another way. It's another way to hide money and make some money. You're surprised. Oh, I didn't know I was going to get charged that too. So eliminating that only increases the possibility of saving money. So that to me in itself is a plus. So I'm all for it. I think it's great.
Yeah, and I just want to add on from the last show we were talking about, for the audience that didn't know, we're talking about resort fees from Marriott, how they have few lawsuits. And I think, I forget who might have said it, but they said if they came to an agreement, more lawsuits were coming. So let me tell everybody, they came to an agreement with the Pennsylvania AG, and they said they're going to display resort fees now. So I guess we'll see what's going to happen there. Rachel?
I think like anything else, it's finding the right balance that works. So whether it's the OTAs or brand.com or blockchain, you're trying to find the right mix that gets heads in beds at the end of the day. And you're right, there's an enormous ROI issue for owners. And most people, consumers, do think about the big boxes of Marriott and Hilton and Hyatt owning those, but those are not. Those are your neighbors or your business partners that are owning these hotels. And so what started as travel agent commissions of maybe 10% years ago. My mother happened to have been a travel agent.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're looking at a technology solution just like a travel agent, but instead you're right, anywhere from 12 to, you said 20, I would tell you some of the independent hotels are as high as 25%.
Yeah.
And that's all money that is being taken out of renovations or new properties or labor or other places, because it's not money that's ending up with the owner. So it's all a mix. Disruption is what it is. It's all what you want to be looking to figure out what is the next solution. But and Calvin, consumers critically important, but without those owners, you're never going to have
absolutely
type of properties now. And so if we can find a right balance that puts more money in the owner's pockets, that's only going to benefit the consumer by the services and labor and other things that those hotels will have.
Totally
Absolutely.
agree. Totally agree.
And, I mean, blockchain does that.
Mm-hmm.
Blockchain does put that money in that pocket, right? No exchange rates, no booking fees, no commission fees. I mean, just imagine the amount of savings.
Money, yeah.
I mean, you take the lowest amount of 15%. Expedia does that on a multiple portfolio. If you have multiple portfolio, they'll be able to get you to 15%. Times that by 5 million, 10 million, 4 million. Just a lot of millions we're talking.
Well, I think, Ken, too, that one of the things is that the OTAs caught people off guard. And so by the time everybody realized what was happening, it had happened.
It's too late. Yes, ma'am.
It's too late. We weren't prepared.
Yeah.
And I think the brands dismissed them too. They didn't think they were going to be able to have the impact that they did as well.
Yeah, great point. Great point. I agree with that. Glenn?
I think y'all pretty much summed it up, but I think it's really a case of being where the customer wants to be. If you're not where they want to be spending their money, then you're not going to be able to secure that reservation and get those profits flow to your bottom line.
Absolutely. Katie?
As Glenn said, it's been a little summed up by everyone, but I'm going to have to piggyback on Rachel, where I think there needs to be a balance. But I do think that it would be especially great, obviously, for corporate travel programs. There'd be so much savings there. But all in all, I mean, I think it's great just as long as they can find a balance.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's the balance is key here. Brandy?
Well, again, to dovetail off of what everyone else has said, it also makes for a more direct experience for those that you are trying to get into your hotels in order to cut out the middleman, so to speak. And there's also that transparency. And plus, you're putting in a technology that is safe.
Mhm.
And with OTAs, I mean, how safe, how robust is that technology? Because you don't want to have your information compromised. So not only are you saving money, but you're also being able to make some guarantees out there that because of this transparency and this direct line of communication between the guest and the property, it makes more sense.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's going to, we have to do things. I mean, I've said this for a while that change needs to happen. The future is now. I think everybody hears me say that the future is now.
Yeah.
It's things that are non-traditional, right? As we've operated the traditional way for so many years, and we've got the same results. We need to try something to get different results, better results. So kind of where I stand on it. Um, Thank you, everyone. So I guess this is a topic that I don't think is going to stop, and it's probably not going to stop for a very long time. Labor. How do we resolve labor and what's going on, that why we've had these issues? I will tell you this. I've said this for a long time, and the labor component in hospitality had a lot to do with a lot of different factors.
Mhm.
And those factors, one of them was the child care expense. The other was the unemployment benefits. Now, when we talk about the unemployment benefits, what did that equal to? The savings rates went up through the roof. People were saving at an enormous clip. Okay, enormous clip. So they said 6.7 million jobs openings were pre-COVID. Today, there's 10.4 million.
It's crazy.
Okay. The savings account increase. And in my eyes, when the savings account increases, so does the spending. So the spending increases. So what we've done as an industry, that we know that people are spending, we've increased the rates. Now, what does that do? That brings the savings rate down. It was at the highest point since like the 40s at
Yeah.
26%. And it brought that, now we're down to about what, I don't know the exact number, I think it was 6 or 7%. But the other factor is more people have retired. There's over, I think, 1 million people, they said, that retired.
Yeah.
More people have started their own business.
Mhm.
Prime example. So, I mean, I would say that there's a lot of different factors, right? And the workers overall now, and the employees, I hate the word workers, I like to just call them employees. They have the upper hand.
Mhm.
They do have the upper hand. And I think we need to understand that. I think that's the biggest thing here, that we have to understand that they have the upper hand. The way we are, it's gonna, in my eyes, this is gonna solve itself. As the savings rate is going down and down, people have to go back to work.
Yep.
We have no choice. So this is what's going to happen. And I'll go to Rachel first. Rachel, what are your thoughts on this? I know you're hospitality, labor, all in.
Well, you may have started a business, as everyone knows. I may have retired, so I'll fill in the retirement portion. I mean, I think there's a couple things. You make very, very good points, but we also have to remember, at least as far as hospitality goes, that in 2019 we were facing a labor crisis of a very different nature. And so at that time, there were more jobs open in hospitality than there were people unemployed. And that is just in this industry alone. So this is nothing new. It's just some new challenges. When you add to that the number of people who we've lost to COVID, when you add to that the number of people who have retired or made different choices, you're right, there is an absolute crisis here. The other thing is that hospitality, being the hardest hit industry from COVID, was forced to furlough or lay off a lot of employees, and they have either found other employment or other options. And so as an industry that didn't have the jobs to offer at the time, it's going to be even harder to convince them back. I'm a solutions person. I'll tell you that. We talk about all the time what an amazing career path hospitality is. There's not a single day, Glenn, Ken, you guys on your shows, the rest of you don't hear someone talking about their tremendous rise from some entry-level position in hospitality, whether it's at a hotel, at a restaurant, at a bar, or something else, to great executive and management roles. I think a lot of that is looking at the younger generation. I know by the time my kids, for those of us whose kids are older, by the time my kids are going to college, they already know what they want to quote unquote be when they grow up. They know what they're going to college for. Yeah. But if we can get into the middle schools, the younger high school kids, and really show what a great path forward hospitality is, we also as an industry have to change our reputation as employers. There's no question that a lot of that is about making sure wages and benefits and flexibility and family. So many of these hospitality industry companies are family to their employees, and we really need to sell the industry. And there are great groups doing a great job of that. I know, Ken, you and Glenn talk about it on your shows a lot. The path to leadership is very, very exciting in hospitality. And I do think, this is an ebb and flow like everything else. And while the numbers are up, it is a crisis that we were already talking about a couple of years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and I always say this is innovation is a team sport, and we're having a lot of that in hospitality. And I think that's the way it's going. And I think the labor component in this industry is getting better, but till our owners decide to step up a little bit more. And I think the people that weren't on the show last week, Brian had a great article of a massive restaurant brand, 169 restaurants, I think they had. And one of their brands is the Rainforest Cafe. I mean, all they did was increase these unique benefits, increase the wages. They increased the menu prices by 7%. I mean, it doesn't take a lot. I don't think you need to be a rocket scientist to know what needs to be done here, So unless we step up and do those things, we'll be in a better position. Calvin?
Yeah, I'm gonna dovetail a little bit on Rachel's comments. I came up through the industry. I was a desk clerk at a Holiday Inn in downtown Chicago, but I was introduced to the industry by somebody that was passionate, and they were the general manager of that particular hotel. And I just think we do have to re-energize people's interest in this industry. I mean, you gotta get a little creative to inspire people to want to work here. And so, for example, I read a while back, McKibben, I think it's McKibben Hospitality Management Company. They've gotten creative. They partnered with the University of South Florida, and so basically they're expanding their hospitality program so they can have students working in McKibben's hotels. They have a lot of properties, and the students can work in some of those properties and get introduced to the industry that they love and just come up through there. I just think universities can play such a huge role, partner with some of these management companies and hotel companies. And so you can start bringing people into the industry. I just think you can just get creative. You can get an influx of employees with students. But you got to take a different approach, and I think McKibben is doing a great job doing it. Starting doing a different way to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right on with that, Brian.
Well, I always like to speak from experience. So, in my holdings, we're in over 25 different industries, and really what it always tends to boil down to is appreciating the employee and having them feel a sense of pride, and that stems from the culture of companies. And I've mentioned a few brands in previous shows. They didn't experience much employee loss or workforce loss because the employees love the brand. They love the team that they work with. They love the guests or the customers or consumers or partners that they have. When you have that, sometimes money is secondary. Sometimes people will take up less money and not go and get a promotion at a different job because they love the environment and they love the work that they're doing and they're appreciated in that environment. And I'm sorry, in the hospitality space, guests suck. I'm all over the world, and people treat this staff like they're garbage. And if you're listening, take a moment and check yourself, because we are all equal, and you are not better than anybody. I don't care what you have in the bank. And if somebody is at a job, especially hospitality, and they got to deal with maybe a boss not appreciating them, maybe their coworkers are bullying them around, and then a guest is treating them like garbage, well, that's an awful toxic environment. One of those things have to be good. And ideally, you want all of them to be good. So I always go back, the culture, the appreciation, and a sense of pride in your job and doing something you love. Everything else is really secondary. And if a brand can accomplish that, then they're not going to have labor shortages. They're going to have a great culture and a great influx of people that work there, don't want to leave, and a pipeline of employees that want to work there. Even family members, parents and kids and brothers and sisters. When you build that culture, people want to be there.
I know a brand that's doing well with it.
What do you got?
It's called EV.
Who would have thought?
I know, who would have thought, right? Like, usually I try to squeeze it right in there after Brian's done talking, because he always sets it up pretty well.
I think what Simon Sinek said, customers can't love a company until employees love it first.
Exactly. That's very true. I mean, well said, Brian, too, and Calvin and everyone. But I think I agree completely. I've been part of a lot of those companies and part of those cultures that were very toxic. And I'm not going to name any of those companies or any of those areas, but I just think we have to change overall. I don't think this is a blame game, and this is not. It's as an industry, we just have to change. Glenn.
Yeah, well, the problem is it is a little bit of the blame game, but the blame is coming from the employers blaming people that they don't want to work and do backbreaking work and be spit on by customers for minimum wage. The hotel, there is no real thing as a labor shortage. There's plenty of people who want to work, but if you're not going to meet people where they want to be, well, you're going to lose out. And quite frankly, the hotel industry is in big trouble when it comes to labor, because why? Now, pretend, I'm a 20-year-old or something like that. Why should I work in hospitality? Technology is so incredible right now. I could work in almost any industry from anywhere in the world and stay in hotels while getting paid for it. I now have the power within me to start my own business from my computer. I did that. Why should I go work in a hotel? There's so much going on. And to get to Brian's point, this is not necessarily the fault of hoteliers, but when COVID happened, prior to that, it's like we're a family. COVID happens, it's like, thank you, you're out.
Yeah.
And all of those people feel betrayed.
Yep.
Right? Again, not saying it's the hotelier's fault. They did what they had to do in the moment to survive. But a lot of these people feel betrayed. And I see it. I look at the Facebook news groups. I see what they're saying. And they're like, why should I go back to work for the same amount of money for people who didn't really care about me in the first place? I've been at home for all of this time. I want to take care of my kids. I've refocused my life. What was a priority before is no longer a priority. And until owners realize what they went through in COVID, reevaluating everything is what every other human being is going through. Well, they're going to continue to put up blockades for themselves to find success and continue to blame, instead of creating some of the great reasons why we could all be successful in hospitality, even if you come in at a little bit lower pay. Because if you have that right culture, like Brian said, it's all good from there on.
Absolutely.
Amen.
We talk about that. I mean, even before COVID, everyone's like, culture, and then pizza party.
Yeah,
and they
but
said,
culture only went so far. As soon as
they
the
thought,
that was
the problem is they thought that having culture is by having pizza parties. And I was like, that's not how you build culture.
Right.
Well, there's a point to that, because I actually changed jobs once because the pizza party in one hotel had pepperoni. Right? So, like, I'm going down to
it's we had this conversation about a pizza party. I think Brian knows as well.
Yeah.
And Hawaiian Shirt Friday. I mean, that's my favorite.
Yeah, but to get to what Calvin was saying with McKibben, there are a lot of hotel companies out there that are now rethinking how they're going to be handling staffing. Folks that want more time, they might be able to work different hours and different positions in different hotels, right? There's talk about giving part-time workers health benefits with certain companies out there. Just engage them as much as possible. The hoteliers still think you have to do what we say. Well, how about listening to what they want to do? So they want to work for you instead of going to Amazon or opening up that Etsy store.
You know, next time I'm going to run the whole show with labor articles because I know Glenn Hausman gets energized about labor.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this whole thing is driving me crazy. It's because I know what's keeping us all from being successful is acknowledging the reality of what's happening and then being proactive. We're still in that blame stage.
I love it.
Until we all get past that, we're not going to be able to be successful.
Yeah, it's not rocket science. That's what we said. We know what needs to happen.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We're just so stuck. We got blinders on, and you just gotta take the blinders off and listen to some people. You can make
because listen, I can't imagine working in another industry. This is the coolest freaking business.
It is.
I just got to get them to understand that.
Absolutely, I agree with you guys. Katie.
Well, Glenn, to just everything you just said, absolutely. But no, I mean, there really is, I think with everything going on, there's so much power to the individual. And like Glenn was saying before, you're not going to put up with a lot of the things that you were before. COVID was a time where everyone really reprioritized and refocused what they were doing and their goals. And with there being such a need for not workers, employees, and being less people, just having that overall need, people are really able to go for jobs that they maybe weren't going to be able to get before, and just really think, what do I want to do? And do I have to put up with this treatment? And I feel like the answer's been no. So I think that unless they feel really a part of the community of the business that they're working at prior, or just overall feel engaged by their company, they're not gonna want to go.
Beautiful. Thank you, Katie. Brandy?
Well, I wish I would have put with the Vegas odds makers to see when Ken would mention pizza party. And I mean, I like pizza, but I like parties, but it does go back to the culture. And part of that culture is making sure that individuals are seen. And as somebody who did not start out in hospitality, I started out in education and mental health and then ended up in tech and hospitality. Part of it is being able to be seen, being able to be recognized. And also, if you want to do something different within the industry, say that you start out as a front desk person or start out as a houseman, what other skills are you bringing to the table that can be transferred to other parts of hospitality industry? And who's going to be your champion in order to help you rise up? So being able to meet people where they are and being able to offer those benefits and actually listen, that's a huge part of getting your talent to not only stay, but also be able to rise within your company in order to get those positive returns.
Absolutely. And I'll just add a quick point to this. At EV Hotel, my vision on this labor thing back in 2018 was, how do we get employees to get away from just knowing one department, right? So at EV Hotel, what we've done is every employee is called an experienced employee. And now every single employee will understand what each department is. What does each department mean? And how does it evolve into the operational aspects of the hotel? And, Orwide is a company we brought on board that is going to be doing all the training materials, all the culture materials. They worked with all the big brands throughout the world. So that's where the focus has to be. We can't make it seem like they're just human robots, and we expect them to do things repeatedly. And we need to get away from that. So I'll leave it at that. But so, I mean, does anyone else have anything else to add, or shall I move on?
I can do another 45 minutes on it if you'd like.
I'd love to hear that. Glenn, I'm in. Go ahead. I'd love to hear
it. So this is going to be just more of informational. I'm just kind of just throw this out there for our audience and everybody listening in about the Thanksgiving travel. And so the data right now, this is from AAA. Thank you, AAA, for the article. And so AAA is saying 53.4 million travelers this Thanksgiving, up 13% according to 2020. 5% volume now. It's only the separation is 5% of 2019 numbers. When I look at all these numbers, the numbers are very close to 2019. 2021 is the highest single year increase in Thanksgiving travelers since 2005. Travelers are saying they're going to big cities and beaches. To me, finally, urban markets get some love. So this is a final aspect of things. And what I love the most about this article, it had the top Thanksgiving locations, and Phoenix was there. I'm like, yeah,
I saw that.
I was like, Phoenix, let's go, Phoenix. But Phoenix is a great city. I mean, I just had a great call yesterday with people inside of Phoenix, the government there, and I didn't even know this, but I knew the Super Bowl was coming there, but they've got consecutive Final Fours coming there too. So
awesome.
Amazing things that they're doing over there. So congratulations to Phoenix for getting on. If you guys want to add on just 30 seconds or less, I can quickly just go around. Katie first, market scale, you guys are in all the cities.
Oh, yeah, of course. With travel right now, or?
Yeah, 30 seconds or less, just your Thanksgiving input into travel.
I didn't realize it was the most since 2005. I think that's crazy. That's very exciting. I think everyone's just been waiting to travel, waiting to be able to see their families and go and be able to have a Thanksgiving and make it as normal as possible. Everything's been the new normal. And I think everyone's excited just to be able to, again, be back with their families and try to make it as normal as possible and just have connections with each other.
Phenomenal. Thank you, Katie. Brandy?
Well, just to, again, reiterate what Katie said, people do want to travel. They want to have those experiences, and being able to do them safely is phenomenal at this point. It's good for your mental health to be able to make those connections. And again, people have lost so many people that your priorities become different. Yeah. So you want to be able to get out there. You want to be able to see your loved ones and be able to live life. So having that opportunity for those who are traveling, please do it safely.
Thank you, Brandy. Brian?
Yeah, I always touch on mental health and wellness in a lot of the business and work that we do. I think I'm happy to see this. I was actually concerned that people would become more isolated because fear and anxiety and stress is their reality. Everybody's afraid of everything, whether it's a virus, if you're vaccinated, if you're not vaccinated, political unrest, economic uncertainty. So you wake up in the morning, you're smacked in the head with all kinds of problems before you even get through your regular day. So it is great to see that people are pushing through that. That is not easy. So Brandy, you're spot on with what you're saying there, and people like you said are dying for some sense of normalcy. So I want to see that continue. I know this mess is not over. There's going to be continued ups and downs throughout this process, but in the meantime, people have to live. They have to feel some sort of joy and happiness in their life. So I'm glad to see that's potentially happening this Thanksgiving holiday.
Thank you, Brian. Calvin?
Oh, I really don't have much to add here. Just super excited to see people getting out, man. I'm driving down myself to see my family. So I'm excited to see them. I haven't seen them in a while, man. There's gonna be a lot of love and hugs and kisses going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that. A lot of that in the Patel family too. Rachel?
I mean, I think, Thanksgiving is always a holiday of connectivity, and people are craving it now more than ever. from last Thanksgiving till now, you have the vaccination rates going up. You've got kids getting vaccinated, the elderly getting vaccinated, the borders opening. I would argue that business travel has been really helpful because people are traveling to conferences, they're traveling to meetings, and it's been safe. So our industry, airlines and hotels and all of these things that are incumbent on, road trips that you see for Thanksgiving are all so dramatically different than they were last year at this time. But, the cases, the decreasing in severity, but also people have some money burning a hole in their pocket. We talked about savings earlier. If I look at business from last year, no dry cleaning, no carpooling to work or commuting to school for gas money or eating out at restaurants. Like people are dying to get out and be with one another. And Thanksgiving is the perfect excuse for people to do that.
Absolutely. Glenn?
Yeah, I mean, Rachel just totally stole what I was going to say. So let me say the same thing in a really different way. The need for togetherness is really programmed into our DNA, right? And Thanksgiving, nothing symbolizes that togetherness more than that classic American holiday. So it's no surprise that with everything that we've been going through, and if not now when attitude are all conspiring positively for all of us to be able to get together with our friends and family and other loved ones in our lives. In fact, all week TSA numbers have been running about 10% off from 2019 numbers, which is a phenomenal place for us to be right now. And I'm fully convinced the only reason why it's not the same or more is because the airlines have not yet put back in all of those flights. When international travel really starts to book, we're going to be there. So people need to be together. That isolation was fine, but we all need to be together. And we will continue to be together and get set for an amazing 10 years of hospitality. If we could find someone to work in our hotels.
Amazing. Yeah, I didn't even know this Thanksgiving's so different that I have my father and actually my mother calls me and saying we're having over 100 people coming to your house. And I'm like, do we even have 100 people in our family? Where are they coming from? I'm just like,
have you not been to an Indian wedding? What are you talking about?
Yeah. I had about 6,000 people at my wedding, so
it's almost it's funny. It's like that saying you don't appreciate something until it's gone.
Yeah,
we were like going through Thanksgiving. Oh, I got to make another Thanksgiving dinner. I got to go see my great grandma. That was kind of the attitude before, man. 2020 taught us a lesson.
I'm very excited to see some of my cousins, and I haven't seen them, and it feels like a very long time. So very excited.
Yeah. Well, Ken, my daughter flew home last night, and in Atlanta, those escalators that go up, she took a picture from the bottom. It was packed. And the last, 18 months, as everyone knows, you get on those escalators, it's like a ghost town. So
I know.
Anecdotal, but the Atlanta airport was ready for Thanksgiving last night for sure.
Oh, they're ready every day. Thank you, Rachel. So let me take you guys to the next piece. We talked a little bit about this last week about an hotel group that was actually came out with their own airline of sort, or they partnered with a charter jet. I think this is a new trend. Here we are with this hotel. You can pay with crypto. I think, Glenn, we were discussing this on your show yesterday, and they've partnered with a private charter company called BitLux. And the Doja Grand is a storied Swiss hotel. They partnered with the BitLux, as I was saying, and BitLux is stating that 50% of their bookings since the partnership are now going through crypto. The managing director of the Doja Grand saying, we always want to offer our guests more, and technology plays an essential role in this. If you were to fly with BitLux, they will give you a $350 hotel credit. Now, if you book with Doja Grand, they will give you a $500 credit towards BitLux. I mean, to me, I said this on the show last week, this is a perfect relationship when we're talking about these charters and these hotels, because now you don't have to worry about an airline ticket. I know it might cost a little bit more, but I said it last week, is how much more will it really cost you, because the same amount of people are going to the same location. So, and I'll kind of go to you, Brian, first, because I know we talked in length about this last week. So
Yeah, I love going first. One of the things that we haven't released yet is one of my holdings in the company. Honored to work with the Star Jets International. Ricky Sidemer, their CEO, legacy rock star in private aviation charter. He started Blue Star Airlines in the late 90s and just had a phenomenal career. So Star Jets has access to over 15,000 jets around the world, even private helicopters and yachts, and all that in an ecosystem of one booking experience is what we're trying to accomplish with things like EV. Book a jet, book a hotel, and then whatever else we can add on top of that, all in one click. But you are catering to the 1%ers of the world. However, with that being said, people, if you look at private aviation, it's going through the roof right now over the last 2 years. The supply of private jets and charter are very hard to get, and business travel isn't even priced in there. So that industry is rocking. And a family of 4 or 6 that is of some wealth that would have paid first class tickets to go somewhere, they're choosing private aviation for a lot of reasons. They're much easier, no stress experience going to an FBO, getting on the jet and getting to their location. Initially, it was just not to be exposed to an infectious disease such as COVID, but now it's become part of their lifestyle. And because that's becoming such a the availability of this to the next level of masses is at a point now where these partnerships start to make sense in including private aviation into booking a hotel, booking a resort. We know what this looks like when you go on Expedia, for example, and you book your hotel. And do you want a car? And do you want some sort of other package to be included in your travel, or do you need a train ticket? Whatever they're trying to sell you on top of that. Now private aviation is coming in on top, and the ability to do it with crypto just makes it even easier for people that have that asset class. So great to see. It's in our pipeline. I know you love me to promote EV, and I love doing it, but it is in our pipeline, and we have direct access, no middle people involved, to ensure that we can offer the best package at the best rate for the consumer to get to our properties safely and get home safely.
And I just got to say, I love Ricky. Spoke to him on the phone. What a gentleman he is. So great guy, great product, great company. So we're excited to, obviously work with Ricky and his team, and Brian putting it all together. So thank you, Brian. Rachel?
I mean, Brian really just wrapped it up. It may only apply to a segment of the traveler, but experiences. That's what everybody is looking for these days. And if you can package it together and make it easy for them, you've got a home run.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Glenn?
I say Brian, you nailed it on there. Now, as for me, I prefer being inconvenienced and the sweet, sweet touch of the TSA on me. But for most people, so if I could do it, man, I would do it. But the one thing that might not lure me away, and Brian, you summed it up perfectly with the family and all of that kind of stuff going away. It's for me, I am super addicted to my Delta miles, and they've really managed to
on that point. Delta acquired Wheels Up, so you still can participate with that and be able to.
There you go.
And you should know, I just got an email with them, and if I just open up an account for $100,000, I can lock in 2021. So, I'm thinking maybe asking Ken for a little of his Bitcoin. Maybe we could get him.
There you go.
Might have to ask my daughter for that, but Calvin?
Yeah, I don't have much. I'm all for, the trend customers want. They want convenience. They want a seamless experience. And just to, what Rachel said, and Brian, you want to create that to differentiate yourself. Of course, that 1% of people that this is for, I'm hoping that someday it could become so popular that I could squeeze into one of the percentages and make it happen for myself. But overall, I think it's just a wonderful way to to create an experience and make it easy for the customer. And so I don't really have any negative about that whole what they're trying to do there. Great job. I love it.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Don't worry, you'll be in that percentage.
I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there, man. I need the crypto life, man.
You got to get a shirt from Amazon. It says crypto millionaire.
There you go. I love it.
It says crypto millionaire hold.
I love it. Hey, man.
Katie?
Speak it into existence.
Again, similar to everyone else, I think it looks great. And truthfully, I want to be able to experience it. So Ken, I mean, if you're looking for a travel buddy, you know who to call, but
Absolutely.
no, I think it looks great.
Travel buddies.
All about the experience.
Let's do it. Brandy?
I think that it's a great idea. It's something that, again, with experience and basically being able to tailor it to the individual, tailor it to their preferences, and especially those with families coming along, then you're creating something that'll keep the family entertained, and also that whole thing about safety and being able to streamline everything.
Mm-hmm.
I have no issues.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going towards that way, and I just want to kind of give some final thoughts on this. Is that the LinkedIn founder? He even went through a SPAC and became an owner of private aviation. I think it's Joby or Java, one of those companies out there. So as Brian was saying, this is becoming an industry of its own now. I think it's going to be very affordable moving forward. It is going to, as the demand gets there, I think the affordability will get there. So
one thing I'd add on the marketing of that article is I would have left the $350 out, or whatever the number is, for the credit. Because if you're booking a private plane and you're staying at a location, you're spending north of $30,000. Like, I think there's something else that could have been a sweetener, opposed to here's $350. It doesn't really put a dent into your bill.
Yeah.
do you think, Brian, that they probably brought down the price by an enormous amount just so maybe they're getting paid by the hotel, probably for a percentage of revenue or something?
If I was their marketing, I would do some sort of more of a special package when the guests got there.
I see what you're saying.
Here's a spa experience. Here's a bottle of Dom Perignon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think if someone of that affluency is going to look at that and they're going to be like, well, what is that going to do?
I agree with you. I hate those credits. I'm like, give me something. I don't know. It's just I'm so against like somebody telling me here's a credit towards something, and I'm like, rather just give me something. Like, why don't you hand me a gift or something? You know what I mean? It's just so much better.
That's what I when you get into the room, something, if it could be $1,000 worth of stuff, or it could be $50 worth of stuff, but putting that dollar amount into that type of traveler, the story doesn't match.
Yeah,
absolutely. But let's stay right here. Crypto, the love of crypto millionaire, hold it, rockets, everything crypto. So we want to stay right here as to the next piece, and our last piece here, ladies and gentlemen, is basically, can you book travel with Bitcoin and other cryptos? But should you? Is the question. And I think this is a topic that came up yesterday as well, is how much of this is really being utilized right now? To tell you that, and I said this on Glenn's show yesterday, is that the European countries are scaled so much with the crypto, and here in the United States, we're not. We're just not. We're behind with it. It's getting there, but it's probably could be better. And where a lot of things can be purchased with wallets, where a lot of travel right now, you look at Air Canada, you can pay with Bitcoin. As this article stated, the gentleman paid on Air Canada with Bitcoin, and he just said it was so easy. He just whooped out his crypto wallet, and that's all he had to do. Right now, you have the Bobby Hotel in Nashville that accepts Doge and other cryptocurrencies. The survey by Travela, a company that's been doing it for a while, they said 22% American travelers plan to use crypto. They said second quarter of 2021, 70% of nearly 10 million in bookings made on their site were paid by crypto. Now, what is crypto going to do? To me, it's going to fix a badly broken system. That is what it's going to do. I've said it. 2022 is going to be the year that this thing just SpaceX rocket to the moon. You know, I think this is what's going to happen. We saw it with MasterCard with their partnership with Back to accept crypto payments. We saw Crypto.com buy the name rights on the Staples Center, and Crypto.com obviously buys name rights on basically every venue. But you know, I think it's happening. It's really happening where we're seeing the Kessler corporation, and they're doing with their hotels. I think up in is it Colorado? I believe it's Colorado and another hotel somewhere else. So I love crypto. I've been involved in crypto for a long time. I've looked at it as a single use currency, you know, saving myself exchange rates when I travel anywhere. I think that's just a big bologna sandwich that you have to pay exchange rates. But, you know, I find it, I have to kind of explain it to a lot of people, including, you know, my uncles, that they tell me that they don't believe in crypto. And then I have to go into like a whole story and a book into why it's going to change the world and what it's doing and things like that. But I'll go to Brian. I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, you're
Yeah.
I have to go to you first on crypto.
I get it. I get it
Crypto
now.
himself.
I get it now.
Hey guys, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's getting super late. I have to get running at this point. So I will see you all.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
Happy
Glenn.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
See you tonight at 5 p.m.
Thanksgiving. Yeah, I mean the interesting thing, it still hasn't even scraped its potential. The person that you're mentioning that said it was easy, yeah, it's easy for them because they're used to it. They've done many transactions with it. They've been part of this journey for a long time, but it's nowhere near easy for the masses. But we're getting there. When it becomes a point where you can walk into a grocery store or 7-Eleven and pay for something with ease, like it is cash or a Visa or a MasterCard, that's when this thing takes off and what everybody wants it to do will do. However, Ken, I think you'll agree with me. Majority of the crypto communities don't want to spend their crypto. They want to hold it. They want to hold it. They want to continue to see it move. However, if you start to introduce rewards in crypto where they can exchange it for goods or services, but based upon the current reward structure, that's what's interesting. And I think that's a nice way to get it adopted and people to understand it and then start to get that utility. If someone has to buy it that doesn't understand it, they're immediately intimidated. They're nervous. They're not going to do it. Much like when you could buy stocks online. It took a long time for people to trust that mechanism. They don't have to call their broker. They can go onto a website and buy a stock. That wasn't an easy transition for people. Now it's the norm. And the same thing's going to happen here. But people don't get it because they can't see it. They don't understand it. They think it's fake. You got Warren Buffett's out there in the world saying it's going to go to zero. So there's a lot of uneducation behind it, and there's a lot of fear and anxiety behind it. But if it could be introduced to them in a reward environment, and then they can go and spend it and touch this bottle of water that they actually got it back for this type of crypto digital asset, then the psyche starts to understand it has value. It can be bought, it can be sold, it can be transferred. People are also going to get very upset and disappointed and confused when they start seeing those gas fees. And Ken, you can speak on that. I mean, it can get very expensive to buy and sell and trade crypto, and it has to make sense on the economics of what are you buying, what product are you buying, what goods are you buying, what service are you buying. But it's here, it's happening, it's exciting, it's a great asset class, and it could be just like buying a stock that goes to zero. There is risk in everything.
Absolutely.
But if you're going to get involved, start small, test the waters, and get comfort and utility behind it, and then make smart decisions like you do with the rest of your asset classes.
Yeah, well said, Brian. I think as the crypto keeps going up, I feel that they're going to utilize their profits as the payment structure and kind of use it for whatever profits making of it. I mean, crypto's just been on fire, but it's not going to last forever. You know, there is going to be a downward trend. I mean, we're seeing some of that now. But you know, the Bitcoin lovers, they're the ones that have been in it for a long time. They've seen a big increase, right? So a lot of it, I just think I have a feeling that Amazon is gonna bring in the SHIB coin. And once it does that, that SHIB community is just a massive community. And if that happens, there's just so many partnerships that I feel like are going to be developed here that we haven't seen. So, you know, and I know, Brian, you know a lot about those partnerships. So, you know, it's something that 2022 is going to be really different with this crypto community. And I'm just excited to see it all. So, Rachel?
Ken, I didn't think the World Wide Web was going to take off, so I'm going to let your audience rely on you and Brian and people who might have a better vision of the future than I have. But, you know, like I said,
now that you're part of EV, you're going to be a crypto.
I am. I'm doing my homework.
You're just going to be a crypto EV.
Yeah, no one will believe it.
So, Calvin.
Again, I when I was reading the article, I was excited because I'm just know where EV is headed, where we're going. I'm like, man, we're right in the pocket with this thing. So really loved it. But I also, on the other side, not as a negative, I do still think as a brand and what we're trying to accomplish, there's a level of responsibility we have to educate the consumer. You know, and I know there's a huge, you know, family of crypto lovers and understand it, but there's also a lot of people that don't. And I think as a brand, if we want to get to where we need to be, where we're going to have to educate people. And even if it's through, you know, like Brian said, through a reward system or whatever, I still think there's going to be a level of education that we're going to have to do. We have to take that responsibility on us, because nobody else is going to do it. Not package it to a way where it's easy to consume, and that's just my learning and development background. I know how important it is and how necessary it is if you really want to engage people and help people become educated in something they're not familiar with. So that's the level of responsibility. But do I believe in it? Hell yes, I do. You know, and you know, I'm you know, and now that we talk about it all the time, I'm very sensitive to everything I see. So it's like, you know, I saw something the other day. There was a Whitney Houston collection NFT that sold out in like 42 seconds.
Yeah,
it is amazing the stuff that now that I pay attention to, that I watch. Yeah. But I know it comes with a level. You have to be interested in it, first of all, but you have to educate yourself, or you got to find a place to get it and consume it so you can be better at it. Because it is a little scary. It's a little scary because you really don't. If you don't understand it, it's going to be difficult for you to embrace it. You know what I mean?
That's why I got an idea. Okay, this is my idea.
All right, I like ideas.
Oh no!
Whoever needs to be educated, keep watching Hospitality 360 live.
There you go.
Yeah, we could create an EV crypto class. I don't care. Yeah. Either way, how we do it, we got to do it.
You get your weekly news, you get your laughs.
Calvin, on that point, I think that's a great. It's priced into the crypto trading floor that we're developing in the EV hotels. But if you remember when eBay had stores out in the market, mid 2000s, 2012, I don't know when they stopped, but it was so people that were intimidated by how does eBay work. They would take their crap and they would go to an eBay store and they would have somebody list it for them. I do think the same thing is desperately needed in this space for people that, what is a Coinbase account? What is an eToro account? How do I sign up? And if you had somebody there walking you through that process, like one of our experienced staff on the floor helping people and getting them past that hurdle of where do I even start? And then once they start and they have it in the palm of their hand, then they could start to play around with it. But I do love the idea of a hands-on somebody helping people, because we need it. You know, I don't care what your age group. If you don't understand something, you need help from somebody.
Right.
Totally. Exactly. I know a brand that does that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's so that's our experienced employee that will take them right to the crypto ballroom, right? So I think it's great. You know, I really have been giving it a thought as to even on Hospitality 360 to create a segment that would involve crypto. So everybody listening in, stay tuned. Stay tuned. It will come. We'll create a segment and we'll create some sort of educational forum. I think the industry does need to know that, and overall, the community needs to know that. So, I mean, Brian, great point on that. Katie?
When I first read the article, I was like, oh my gosh, why am I not doing that? That's so exciting. But to Brian's point, when he was saying, when the guy said it was so easy to use, it's because he's super familiar with it. So I think that it will definitely be a while. And then to Calvin's point as well, I think people just need to be educated, and they're very lucky to have a brand and a hotel network out there that's willing to do that. You guys. So,
Awesome.
yeah, EV for life.
There we go. Brandy?
Well, when I was reading the article, I thought about Catherine all those years ago, introducing the business centers to hospitality. And imagine this woman pushing this big computer up and down the streets of New York, stops at the Westin and says, I want to put this in your hotel. And they're like, why? And then she sees a person carrying a briefcase and it's like, it's a business center. It's for your travelers. So right then and there, she not only became a hospitality steward, but she also became a steward of technology. So putting that point out there again with Calvin and Brian talking about education. I mean, I'll be happy to come to crypto college and learn the ins and outs.
That's right.
Because I think that people need to know about the safety of it, because it is so new for people. But if they can find out about the ease of use and be able to apply it to practical everyday items, then that's more of a point in EV's favor. So let the education begin.
Yes, absolutely.
Well said.
I think you just probably created the new segment.
Crypto college. I love it.
I was thinking crypto university. CU.
But that's the next level. You can go to there's levels to this thing, as they say.
There's levels. You know, it's we got Professor Brian here, so
only through experience and making many mistakes. Yes, I am Professor.
Oh, trust me, I'm with you, Brian, on that. I'm with you. I'm feeling the pain on Shib right now too. I'm feeling it. So, but it's the end of the show. I want to thank everyone, even our board members that couldn't be here. Want everyone to have a happy Thanksgiving, safe travels, you know, be well, enjoy the family, enjoy the friends, enjoy that big, I was going to say the word that I shouldn't say, but enjoy the big turkey. You know, it's going to be amazing. I'm excited to, you know, get ready for Christmas after Thanksgiving. I think it's just going to be amazing end of the year. So get ready for 2022. Hopefully love to hear more of people's New Year's plans this year because of last year's New Year. So, you know, this is going to be probably an amazing 30 something days to the end of the year. So stay safe, stay well, and enjoy the families. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Surf Request. Thank you, CCC as well.
Thank you. And go crypto.
Thanks.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Thanksgiving.
All right. And we're done.